Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. I just thought I would pop on here and do a quick little video book haul today because I have some books here to talk to you guys about. I have some books that I bought recently, probably in the last 2 weeks, and then also some very exciting book mail here. And then also I was going through all the boxes because we're still unpacking and moving into our house, and I found one more box of books of mine. I thought when I filmed the video of the big book tour of all my books that I had them all with me, but I was missing about 10, so I've got the ones that I was missing out of my big book tour. If you haven't seen that, go back and watch that. It was such a fun video to film, but I'm just going to quickly go through these ones as well and just let you know which ones I missed. But I'm very excited to talk to you about the 11 books that I have got recently, so I'm just going to jump right in and tell you guys. The first 2 books that I have bought recently are books that were nominated and longlisted for the Booker Prize this year. So I've got Orbital by Samantha Harvey, and then the SafeKeep. Both are such gorgeous covers. I haven't read either of these yet, but I'm trying to get around to reading a lot of the Booker Prize books this year. I have not normally kept up with the Booker Prize, but I've had a lot of fun looking into and seeing which books I want to read from it this year. Orbital is a sci-fi kind of meditation, poetical, lyrical look at space, and it's told through the eyes of 6 different astronauts circling around Earth within 24 hours. It seems like a really interesting, quirky, kind of very poetic book, and I'm really excited to read this one. I just love the cover so much. It's hardback and it's a beautiful blue. I love it. Then we have The SafeKeep by Yael van der Wouden. I honestly bought this book because it was so gorgeous. This edition is just absolutely beautiful, and the detailing, oh, it's so pretty. The SafeKeep is set in the Netherlands post World War II. It seems like it's going to be a very immersive, beautiful story talking about grief, loneliness and human connection, and I've heard so many beautiful, amazing reviews about this. I picked it up and I read the first page and instantly I just fell in love with the writing style, so I'm really excited to read this one soon, and I hope it gets shortlisted for the Booker Prize. Next up we have a book that I bought for book club for September. This is our September book club pick. It's also a book that I've been meaning to read for a very long time, and so many of my favourite booktubers and bookstagrammers have read this book and it's like one of their favourites. This is Open Water by Caleb Azumah Nelson. He's also released another book recently, I think, but yeah, I'm so excited to read this one. It's a very short, sweet book, but I've heard it's very impactful and touching with how short it is. All I know about this one is that it's set in southeast London and it's about 2 British young black kids going to school and their love story and how they've met. I could be a little bit wrong, but that's all I kind of know about this one. I'm kind of want to go into this one blind because it's so short and sweet, and I just want to be so like surprised by it. But yeah, I'm really excited to read this one. I have to read it soon because it is our September pick. The next book that I got recently is A Little Luck by Claudia Piñeiro. I read Elena Knows a few months ago and absolutely loved it, and I've been meaning to pick up this one for a while, and I went into Dimmicks in the city and I saw this one was on sale, so I had to pick it up. This cover is just gorgeous. I feel like I love the covers of all of these books so much. Claudia Piñeiro's writing is translated, and this one is also set in Argentina, and I also kind of want to go into this one blind, so I don't know a whole lot about it, but I think it's about a woman who's like rebuilding her life, and it also touches on illness like Elena Knows does. I love how she writes and describes and depicts illness, and yeah, her writing is just so beautiful, and I'm so excited to read this one. She's also got another book coming out in like a month or so, and I'm very excited to read that one as well, so yeah, so pretty. Next up, this is a book that I got secondhand from the op shop. This is None Shall Sleep by Ali Marney. This is a YA thriller, and I love the cover of this one so much. It seems like a really fun, quick fast-paced read. My little brother has been getting into reading heaps recently, and he's been asking me for lots of book recommendations, and we went book shopping together and I pointed this one out and I said he should get this one and read it. And then literally like 3 days later I found a copy at the op shop. So he bought a new copy and then I found a copy for myself. So we're going to do a little buddy read of this, and I'm really excited to read it. It's really fun to dip into some YA and some thrillers every now and then. So yeah, I'm really excited to read this one. Next up, another book that I bought because of the cover, but also because it was recommended to me. This is All Falls by Miranda July. I have seen this one all over my social media recently. I am obsessed with how gorgeous this cover is. So many people have been talking and praising this book. My beautiful friend Emma from book club is in the middle of reading this one, and she convinced me to buy this because she is loving it so much. This one is set in America, and it's about a lady who's an artist, and she ends up leaving her family, her husband and her kids, and going on this road trip to find freedom and just re-find herself. And it sounds very unhinged and crazy and fun. The next book is a book that I started screaming and crying when I received this one. I bought it for myself, but I ordered it online because it is not available in Australia yet. But I read a digital advanced reader's copy of this book. I'm not sure when it is going to be released in Australia. I have not seen it anywhere, so I had to get it secondhand from the UK. Anyway, this book is probably my favourite book that I've read so far this year. I'm going to reread it again so soon because I loved it, and I've already talked about it on here, but I finally have a physical copy of it, and this is Habitat by Catriona Shine. I loved this book so much, and look at how pretty that cover is. Just like, I can't stop staring at this book. I'm so like excited to have it in my hands. It's just so pretty. This book is a literary fiction book. It is set in Norway, and the writing style of it's very similar to, I would say, Ellie Smith, which is also one of my favourite authors. This is all set in an apartment block over the course of a week, I think it is. And right at the start of the book, it has a little map of all the people that live in the apartment, and it's just about their lives and how they intertwine. But then there's also hints of like magical realism and crazy things happening. So the building starts to like deconstruct and fall apart, but in ways that are not actually physically possible, and everyone thinks they're going crazy and they blame it on other people. And it's just like this slow like madness that everyone comes to, and it's just a crazy cool book, and the writing is just gorgeous. It's really talking about how nature is like reclaiming this building. Yeah, just such an outstanding book. An easy 5-star read. Yeah, I love this one, and I'm so happy to have my hands on it now. Another book that I bought online secondhand was Sanatorium by Abi Palmer. I have seen this one around quite a lot online in like the chronic illness community. A few people that I follow have read this one and recommended it so many times. This is a non-fiction poetry collection, I believe, about a woman in Budapest who spends a month at a thermal water-based rehabilitation facility. It's talking about how she's recovering from illness and connection to water, and it's all of the things that I love reading about in a book. But it's very much a poetry collection. It's very short pages and chapters, and a few drawings as well. And I'm just really excited to read something a bit different and something that I can relate to. Yeah, it looks really good. This next book I got really recently, and I was just dropping into the bookstore, and I was not meant to pick up any books, but I can't go to the bookstore without picking up a book. And I saw this one on the shelves. It was the last one there, and I'd never seen it before. And as soon as I picked it up, I was like, this cover is so cool. And then I read right on the front, there was a quote from Ellie Smith recommending this book. So if you know me, if Ellie Smith recommends anything, I am picking it up. And then as I read about what it was about, I was like, there's no way I'm leaving this one here. So this is Parasol Against the Axe by Helen Oyeyemi. This one is such a cool cover. and the hardback is yellow. It's awesome. This one is set in Prague and it's on a bachelorette weekend, and it's literary fiction, but I think it's also got elements of fantasy and magical realism, which Ali Smith is amazing at. So if she's recommending this, then I know I'm going to love it. The city of Prague starts playing tricks on the main protagonist in the book, and a book that she's reading starts warping and like becoming real. So the text within the book that she's reading in this book starts almost coming alive, and characters she starts seeing on the street, and it just sounds like a really crazy, awesome read, and I'm already obsessed with this book. I'm so excited to read it. It does sound like a bit of a difficult one, but I do love weird, quirky, difficult books to read, so I am really excited to read this one. It's really right up my alley. And the last book in my little book haul before we get on to the exciting book mail is Dispersals by Jessica J. Lee. This is a non-fiction memoir and nature writing collection. This one is essays on nature and plants. In this book she talks about the migration of people and plants, so she's kind of comparing weeds to people who immigrate and her own story with immigration, and this one sounds like a really, really beautiful book. There's also a quote from the author of Small Bodies of Water on the back of this one, which is one of my absolute favourite non-fiction nature writing books. So I've been on the lookout for some more nature writing non-fiction, and I'm very excited to have my hands on this one. It's such a beautiful, beautiful cover and sounds like a really gorgeous, touching book. Okay, on to the book mail. I received this morning from Dimmix. I am partnering with Dimmix over on my Instagram for something very special, and I just posted my video on that today, but I really wanted to share it with you guys on this video. Dimmix is one of our biggest bookstores here in Australia, and currently Leve is touring Australia and she has a book club, and Dimmix and Leve's book club are partnering together to do a little book pop-up and merch stand in the Dimmix, and they have kindly sent me one of Leve's book club pics and some merch, and I did a little video going into the bookstore and showing the pop-up, and it was very fun to film, but I just really wanted to show you what they sent me today. So I got 2 of the Leve book club bookmarks. They are so pretty. And then onto the very, very exciting stuff. I got a copy of Kitchen by Banana Yoshimoto. This book I have been wanting to read so much. It's translated Japanese literature, which I love. It's all about the connection to kitchens and cooking in Japan, and it sounds like a really sweet, touching story, and I'm so excited to read this one. And then finally in this package, I got a tote bag from the Leve Book Club, and it is so pretty. I'm going to show you the details on here. It's so pretty. I love it so much, and I'm very, very grateful that Dimmix sent this to me and to have worked with them. It was such a fun experience going and seeing the pop-up, and I highly recommend going and visiting it yourself. There are so many amazing books to choose from in their little pop-up, and I'm really excited to read Kitchen. That was all of the books that I have bought recently. I am so excited about them, but I was just going to quickly go through all the books that I accidentally left out on my last video. This is a very random collection that I just found in a box, but I didn't want to leave them out. I wanted to include all the books that I have on my channel, so I'll show you them now. So first we have The Travelling Cat Chronicles, a translated literary fiction. Then we have A Court of Frost and Starlight. This is part of the Akatar series, and I thought I was missing one, so turns out I was. It's really hard to keep up with what books I own when I have so many, but yeah, I need one more from the Akatar series, I think, to finally be complete, so I'm on the lookout for that before I start reading it. Then I have 2 copies of A Tree Grows in Brooklyn. I love both covers of this one so much. I really, really love this one. It's so pretty. I love it. I don't really know much about this book, but I really want to read it at one point, so I've got these. I've got The Bees. And then I mentioned on my video that I thought I had more David Attenborough books, and I found them. I've got A Life on Our Planet by David Attenborough and The Zoo Quest Expeditions. This is probably my favourite of his. And then we have Babel by R.F. Kuang. I also got this one signed when I went to the R.F. Kuang talk, and I'm really excited. This is the only one of hers that I have not read yet, and I really am so excited to read. I then have another Anne Patchett. I thought I was missing one of hers, so I've got Commonwealth by Anne Patchett here. And then 2 Jhumpa Lahiri books, In Other Words and Translating Myself and Others. I haven't read any of her work yet, but I've had it recommended to me many times, so I think I'm really going to enjoy her writing. And then finally we have She Is Haunted by Paige Clark and Before We Were Innocent by Ella Berman. Both, I think, Australian literary fiction books. But yeah, that was my little quick haul and some books that I had lost. I just wanted to jump on here and do a fun little quick book video. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.